Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our stream.
Welcome to our Focus 8 to 10 webinar. So,
Yeah.
we have an interesting question for today. So, in the meantime, if you could comment in the comment sections your name, what is your hometown, and then at the same time use adjectives to describe it. I should edit that.
Yeah, maybe make that plural, add a question mark maybe. Yes. Hi everyone, welcome for joining us. What is your hometown, and describe it for us using some adjectives. Well, Joanna shall we also do an introduction, Joanna, for the students who do not know us?
Definitely. And at the same time, describe our hometowns.
So, I'll start. My name is Sophia. My hometown is London, but I have lived in Bologna for 4.5 years, and I work at my English school in Bologna Mille. I have been working there now for almost 2 years. And what about Joanna?
And I am Joanna. I come from Cape Town, South Africa, and I currently live in the countryside, just outside of Bologna. I am also a teacher at Bologna Mille, and I have been in Bologna for 2 years now.
Very nice. So, what are some words to describe your hometown, Joanna?
Well, I don't.
I love how you just stop. And you're like, oh, my hometown. Well,
I really hope at some point there is no one from my hometown watching these videos. I don't live directly.
Is that bad?
I don't know. Yes, I don't live in the city of Cape Town. Like, I don't live in the city center. Just like I don't live in the city center of Bologna. I live in a small town. I'm actually going to say the name because then you can hear the pronunciation. It's called Boertasig. And
are you okay?
Sounds like I'm sick. Like I'm.
It sounds like you're coughing.
Unfortunately, I'm fine. So, yeah, the town I come from is called Boertasig, and it's very small. It's relatively the same as the town that I'm living in now, except this town is a lot smaller. I don't like it. I don't like Boertasig because it's a town where everyone knows everyone.
Okay, it's one of those places, and there is a lot of gossip, I imagine.
A lot of gossip. It's disgusting, actually, how much gossip. You've probably been to school with everybody. Everybody's probably, even if they're like 40 years older than you, gone to your primary school and gone to your high school. They will ask if the same teachers are still there 40 years later.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So is it quiet or is it very busy, your hometown?
It's relatively busy. I'm gonna say it's busy. There are a lot of pubs.
Okay.
So yeah, people like to drink and have fun there. I think it's a very close-knit community.
That's a nice word. Maybe we should put that up as well.
Yeah.
A close-knit community.
Mm-hmm.
So just to explain this word, a close-knit community is a community of people that are very close together, who spend a lot of time together, maybe have a lot of projects. People take care of each other. So it's a very closed, tight community like this. Shall we look at some answers from our students?
Of course, yeah. So we start with Sole.
Yeah, Sole says, hi again. Hi again, Sole. Nice to see you. My hometown is in Calabria. It's pretty, kind, ugly. That's everything. Do you mean I think maybe, Sole, you need to choose one. It's pretty ugly or it's kind of ugly. I think we don't really use both in English, right, Joanna?
We can use one of each, but not together.
Yeah, for slang, it's excellent, Sole. It's really good. But use pretty ugly or kind of ugly. Don't use both. My mum is back and she's watching me with my grandpa now. Hi, guys. Sole also says, I can understand you, Joanna, which is a relief, I guess.
At least you can. At least I have someone that is like sympathizing with me.
What's the backstory of this comment?
Of which comment?
I can understand you.
Yeah. So like, please tell us, why can you understand us? I feel like she's talking about her town.
Oh, the hometown, maybe. The sound you made for your hometown. She can understand it, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
All right, that's
We also
cool.
have Gianluca. Gianluca says,
Yeah.
"Hi, I'm Gianluca, and my hometown is Palermo."
We love Palermo.
Palermo,
We are big fans of Palermo.
definitely.
Palermo took very good care of us.
Yes, I actually feel like I could live there. If I
Yeah.
wasn't living in Bologna or the outskirts of Bologna, I'd definitely live in Palermo
Mm,
for the weather. The weather was great. It was like
yeah.
typical South African weather.
Yeah, that's true. He says
She goes
Palermo
on
is
to
a
say,
sunny, big city in Sicily on the sea. Don't forget your subject, Gianluca. It is also a historical city with a lot of important. Built is the
mm,
verb. Let's change this to the noun, not built. Can you change it, Gianluca? But that's really good. Yes, we would love to live in Palermo. For me, Palermo had one big problem. Do you know what that is, Joanna?
it was very dirty.
It was very dirty. Yeah, you read my mind. This was for me the one problem with Palermo. It was so dirty. Probably maybe the dirtiest city.
Your
My
mom
mom
said
says
she can relate
I can
to
relate
me.
to
Please,
Joanna.
please tell us why. Please
I
tell
think she's
us.
referring to the hometown, maybe. Maybe she can tell us.
Yeah, tell us about your hometown. Sophia's mom. I don't know what Sophia's mom's name is.
She's literally got it right there.
Oh, okay, so she's Constantina. Please tell
You
us
can call
about.
her Dina. Buildings. Good job, Gianluca. Exactly.
Yes.
Not built, but buildings for
Mm-hmm.
the noun. Okay,
Um,
nice.
yeah, what about your hometown? You didn't even describe it. You just said, I'm from London and finished.
Oh, all right. My hometown. Well, my hometown is London. Again, I don't come from the center of London. I come from the suburbs of London, so the outside of London.
Mhm.
So where I grew up was is residential. So quite quiet, a lot of families, a lot of schools. It was a bit boring. But London is a very big city and very noisy, very lively, etc. But not in the suburbs. The suburbs were a bit quiet.
I think that you mentioned earlier on that you also lived in Greece.
I also lived in Greece in Athens for a while. Yeah.
You describe that for us. That would be very.
Athens is a historical city on the sea. In fact, it is quite similar to Palermo.
Mhm.
The buildings are very similar, and the climate is very similar. And sometimes it is as dirty as Palermo, unfortunately. So, yeah, Athens and Palermo are quite similar.
I think
Yeah.
that's my next holiday destination.
Absolutely, definitely. If we can ever, next time we can leave. Hi, Valentina. Nice to see you. Welcome. Valentina says, my hometown is Bologna. Nice. It's a beautiful city with nice plural, nice person plural. And there are a lot of historical building. Again, let's make this plural. The city center is very beautiful. Yes, it's true. Bologna is historical and it's a very beautiful medieval city.
That's actually why I fell in love with Bologna, for the history. Um,
The
Everything sort of looks the
architecture.
same.
Um, all
Your
right, should we
mom,
look?
your mom
Yeah.
says that she agrees with me with regards to the hometown and that everyone
Mm.
knows about you and of you. Unfortunately. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with all of you.
Yeah, let's look at our focus for today. As you probably guessed, we're talking about my hometown. So, shall we read our objectives? And in the meantime, keep telling us about yourselves, your name, where do you come from, and describe your hometown for us.
Yes, please do, even if you're tuning in a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so in this focus activity, describing your hometown, present perfect tenses using for and since.
Excellent. Are you guys ready? Are you ready, Joanna?
I am super ready.
All right, let's do this. So,
Ooh.
let's do some reading. Maybe I will start, and when I get tired, I will stop and Joanna can continue. Does that sound okay? All right.
Yeah, perfect.
So we have small town USA. Anna is from a tiny town in the middle of the United States. She has lived there since she was born. Her town is tranquil and quiet. There is a broad river that runs along the edge of town, and she has been fishing there since she was a child.
The library has been there for 50 years and was just renovated last fall. If she could change one thing about her town, it would be to add a traffic light. Right now, there is only a stop sign and traffic is always jumbled on Main Street. There is a lot of new, interesting vocabulary here.
Yeah, but we have some questions first. Maybe we'll do the questions before the vocabulary because I think some
Definitely.
are in the questions as well.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Maybe. Here we go. So we will look at this text and find some synonyms. So words which have the same meaning. Small, wide, updated, and a mess.
Yes.
Okay.
So within the text, have a look for the synonyms. Like Sophia said, words that have similar meaning. And use the comment section to comment the answers.
Nice. All right. So what do we think? I'm trying to find the answers.
I am at the same
Okay.
time as
I
well.
think I've got them. I'm trying to think if are there any more words? Maybe the edge we might want to explain.
Okay, so if we talk about the edge of town, it's right just as the town ends.
Exactly. So we can use edge in many different contexts. So the edge of town is where the town finishes, but we can use it also, for example, if I talk about my mug, the edge, I'll bring it closer, is this part as well, or the edge of a table. So where the table finishes, this is the edge.
Yeah.
Soleh has the first one.
Soleh says, small is tiny.
And she is absolutely correct. Small is tiny. Did we find the synonym for wide? So we have long and wide. Did we find a synonym?
Also, with regarding to wide is also, I don't know if many of you were watching before with the focus 8 to 10 that Sophia and I did earlier on with false friends. Wide is a false friend in Italian.
Oh, is it?
The word that we use in Italian ultimately is a false friend in English.
Ah, like large, you mean? Okay, yeah, because large in Italian is wide. So
Yeah.
maybe, did anybody find it? The synonym for wide? No?
So yes,
we
if you
can use...
find the synonym, ooh. Soleh also has another one. No, Soleh says jumbled. Valentina asks, what is jumbled?
Yeah,
So we're going to
exactly.
answer your question in a bit.
Yeah, we'll answer your question in 2 minutes. So what we can use wide for maybe a road, for a river, maybe, just to help you. Nice, Gianluca has got it. Wide is broad. Can we bring up Gianluca's answer? Let's look at the next one, updated. Yes, very nice. So we can use wide or broad for a road, for a river. What else could you use it for? A street?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's right. We wouldn't use it for a lake.
Probably not. And we wouldn't use it for people. Would you use it for people? A wide person, like if they're a bit fat? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. If you, I would probably say a bit of, yeah, maybe a wide. Yeah, maybe occasionally for people.
Anyway, we've got some answers for updated. Gianluca says renovated. Solis says renovated. Lovely. This is the synonym for updated. And to answer your question, jumbled is a mess. Attention, because one is a noun and the other is an adjective. But if something is jumbled, it means it's a bit chaotic. It's not very organized or clear. It's a bit
Like
chaos.
Gianluca, when you are in Palermo, I found this very difficult. When the people drive, they literally do not stop. Not even. It's like you either run and hope you get to the other side alive, or don't walk across the street.
Yeah, so the traffic is quite jumbled.
Yeah. So
All
what they
right.
continue to ask us is find the sentences that use since and for.
Mm-hmm.
Then as well, they ask when do we use since and when do we use for?
So you can write for us the answers in the comments. There are two sentences. Two sentences for since and one for. Sole says typical, and Gianluca says, haha, there are other street rules there. It's true.
It is true. All
All
right.
right.
So back to the text. Find the
Let's talk.
sentences that would use since and for.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Let's
You
see
could
if I
probably
can find them. Okay,
type
I
out
found.
the sentence.
Pardon?
I said they could probably type out the sentence within the comment section.
Yeah, absolutely. Or just the beginning of it.
Yeah,
I found one.
I found
I
one
found.
too.
I think I found the second one as well. Yes, I found two. And
I found all of
uh,
them.
I found them as well. Good. Solid found the one for 4 years. How many times did I say four in those sentences? I don't know.
Many times, but it's not for 4 years, but it was for 50 years.
Oh, yeah, that's right. For 50 years. Okay, but anyway, it's the library has been there for 50 years. That's
Mhm.
one. Can we find the sentences with since? Or can someone answer the final question? When do we use since and when do we use for?
Yes, remember that there are two sentences for since. All right.
Maybe we can help them out a bit. So remember, we can look in the text. We have, she has lived there. Yes, Sole has got it. Since she was born. Very nice,
Mhm.
Sole.
Excellent. And then that leaves us with the last one, which
Yeah,
we would use. Good job, Valentina. She has
yeah,
been fishing there since she was a child.
good.
Awesome.
And I'm sure we all know fishing. It's when you go to a lake and you try to catch a
You like
fish.
fishing?
I have never been fishing. Have you ever been fishing?
No.
No.
But it looks like you need to have a lot of patience for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to remind you guys, since we use for a specific point in the past, since she was born, since she was a child, whereas we use for to talk about a length or a duration of time. Okay, so for 50 years, or yeah, for 50 years, for her entire life, maybe.
Yeah.
Uh,
What's good to remember with since and for, like Sophia said, with since a specific point in the past, but remember it's relevant to now. So from the time in the past right up until this very moment.
Exactly. In fact, we commonly use these with present perfect because it
Hmm.
talks about something that began in the past but continues now. Nice. Shall we look at another text? Oh, one question before we go on. Sorry, we have renovated last fall. The library has been there for 50 years and was just renovated last fall. Fall is the American word for a season. If you can tell us in the comments which season in British English is fall.
Yes.
Okay,
Have you
I
ever
just
thought
wanted
why
to
the
check.
Americans use the word fall? Like, why don't
Pardon?
we use? Have you ever thought about why the Americans use fall and why they don't use what we use?
Maybe because the nice Valentina has got it. Awesome job. I always assumed it was because the leaves
That's
fall,
exactly what I thought.
but it's not true.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
hope
We'll have to ask an American.
yes. Or we have to Google it.
We'll
All
do
right.
Google it. Yeah.
Okay. Before we continue, I just wanted to have a look through this text just to see if there was perhaps any other vocabulary for them.
I think we're okay. We did edge. We did fall. Maybe a traffic light?
Yes. So
Maybe
this
a,
is, yeah, because I feel like a lot of them get a little bit stuck on the word traffic light. So when you are in traffic and you're driving on the road, you have this sort of machine looking thing with the colors red, amber, and green that
yeah, red,
indicates
orange, and
whether you
green.
need to stop, slow down, or go.
Exactly. This is a traffic light. All right, let's look at
In South
another
Africa, we don't call
text.
it a traffic light.
So we talked about small town USA. Now we are going to big city UK. We'll read this and we will try to complete the gaps with present perfect, for, or since. So,
Before we continue with that, perhaps we should tell them how we structure present perfect.
oh yeah, maybe we should. Do you want to do our formula?
Yeah, so I was busy typing it in the comment section. So for present perfect, we have subject plus we would
A
use have
subject
or
plus
has.
have or has, depending on if we have third person, and
Yeah, and
then
the past participle.
past participle. Exactly.
Remember that the past participle is the third form of the verb in the past.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we can bring that up as well.
Mhm.
Perfect. So, do you want to start this time, Joanna?
Yes, so when I get tired, which would probably be soon. Big city UK. Wes, notice that Wes is short for Wesley.
Is
Wes
it?
is from, yeah, majority of the time, no?
Oh, I just know it as Wes. The only Wes I've ever heard of is Wes Anderson. I've never asked myself what his name is. Wesley, not Westifer or Wezard.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but Wesley.
I don't know.
Wes is from a really congested, densely populated city in the UK.
Mm.
It is urban, advanced, and metropolitan with construction and industry everywhere. He live in brackets there brackets for since 6 years.
Me?
Mhm.
They demolish and restructure buildings in his neighborhood every year for since 2008. It is disruptive and noisy. If he could, he would move to a new flat on a charming, quiet street.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's bring up our questions and we can do some vocabulary as well.
Are you sure it's not going to give me the correct answers?
Oh, maybe it'll give us the correct answers. So, in the comments, can you please write in your answers? Change these verbs in parentheses, in brackets, to present perfect, and decide if for or since is correct. And while you are doing that, let's do some vocabulary because I think charming. Oh, Solly has one
Yes, Ola
already.
has one. She says has
She
lived,
for, and
therefore.
I think she is absolutely correct. He
Good.
has lived for. Very nice job, Sole. Excellent.
Yes, so we use the has for the third person singular. And like Sophia said earlier on, the length or duration of the time would be 6 years.
Mhm. Let's see if we can get the next one. In the meantime, charming, maybe we should explain. So,
Yeah.
charming is an adjective. It has ing, so it looks like a verb, but it's an adjective in this case. And it means something that is pretty, that is adorable, something that that's quite enjoyable as well. So we can say a charming person, maybe a charming place, um, a charming, I think that's it, a person or a place we'd use for charming,
Yeah, we
right?
wouldn't use it for animals.
No, it has to do also when we talk about people, it's to do with their manners and their behavior as well. If they are polite, if they are sweet, maybe.
Here's a good question. Would you use charming for masculine or feminine? Because I've never used it for a feminine to
I would,
describe.
yeah, a charming woman, a charming girl. Yeah, I think I would use
Oh,
it.
I've never used it like that. I would always use charming for a man.
No, I'd say also for women.
All right.
Sole has another response. They have demolished and restructured since. Yeah. Nice job. I agree. Good subject and verb. They have, he has. Nice job, Sole.
Awesome, excellent,
Since
Ole.
2008, which is a specific point in the past.
Okay, so let's first let's discuss the vocabulary, maybe all of it, before we go on to speak about the questions. So charming was a good one. Perhaps we should speak about densely populated.
Yeah, absolutely.
So densely populated is what is the word I'm looking for? It's a compound adjective.
Yes.
And it means for a place that is extremely populated.
Exactly.
Like, I don't
Many,
know, Milan or Rome, that would be densely
exactly.
populated.
A place where many people are living very close together, so it's very dense. Also, cities like in Asia, like New Delhi or Shanghai, these are quite densely populated as well.
Definitely. And
Um,
how would you describe congested?
I would say congested is like blocked. If we're talking about a city, again, that there are many people, there's a lot of traffic. It's not easy to move around freely because there's so many people and so many cars that you're kind of always blocked. We also use congested to talk about our nose. If you have a cold, your nose is congested, which means that you talk like this, because your nose is
Blocked.
congested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then again, for an example, like she said before, New Delhi and probably Shanghai are really good examples of cities that are really
congested.
congested. You can't move around.
Maybe New York as well, if we're talking about traffic. New
Hmm,
York would be congested.
definitely.
Yeah. What's
Oh,
Cape
right.
Town like? Is it congested, densely populated?
I'm going to say like it's densely populated, but I'm not going to say that it's congested. It
Okay.
definitely depends on the time of day.
Hmm.
What about the UK? I like London from just in general.
Um, London, I would say it's the opposite. So it's congested. There's a lot of traffic in London, but I wouldn't describe it as too densely populated. London has a huge metropolitan area, so it's actually quite spread out.
Okay.
It's not people living on top of each other like in other cities, but it
Mm-mm.
is very congested.
All right.
All right, let's
Let's
look at
go
our
with
questions.
yes.
So, in this text, we want to, number one, find a conditional sentence, find two synonyms for crowded, so two words with the same meaning as crowded, and also find two antonyms, so words which have the opposite meaning to calm and quiet.
So in the comment section, if you found the conditional sentence, please
Mhm.
comment it there, write it, and we will
Yeah,
show your answer online.
exactly. I'm trying to find the conditional sentence. To help you, the conditional sentence will always start with this magic word if.
If
Yeah, so we're finding the sentence that begins with if, which will be our conditional. And then two synonyms for crowded and two meanings with two sentences which are the opposite of calm and quiet. I think I found the conditional sentence. It's at the very end.
I found it too.
Yeah. So for our conditional sentence, we've got if he could, he would move. Oh, we've got the answer. Andrea. Oh, hi, Andrea. Welcome.
Hello.
Can we bring up Andrea's answer? If he could, he would move. Exactly. And Sole says the same. If he could move too. Nice. Did you find two synonyms for crowded?
Yes, funny enough, I have.
I'm trying to find them as well. I think they're the ones we discussed before.
It's the two in the beginning, yeah.
Mm,
Congested and densely populated. Just means a lot
right.
of people.
Yeah.
And what are the
Hi, Andrea.
two antonyms? Hi everyone. Hi Andrea.
And two antonyms for calm and quiet. Let's see if we can find these. Two words which have the opposite meaning to calm and quiet.
Ooh. I've got them. The opposite meanings, guys.
I think I found them as well.
I found them. Consider that the synonyms were in the beginning of the sentence or the text. The antonyms are towards the end, guys.
Yeah. Sole found densely populated for question 2. Nice. Good job. Maybe should we reveal them?
I wonder if it's going to give
I
it.
think
Ooh.
we've got one.
So
Calm and
noisy
noisy.
would be for
Nice.
quiet, but
Yeah, maybe
calm,
quiet for noisy, and Shirley says no, joking. But you've got one of them. One is noisy, and the other one is also in that sentence,
yes.
calm,
Of course, if
disruptive.
the word is calm, the opposite cannot be calm.
Yeah, calm and disruptive in this
Yeah.
sentence.
So calm would be disruptive, like Sophia said.
So disruptive is something that it destroys calm. So maybe if we are in a place, maybe we are in a class and there is one child who is always making noise and not sitting down and not listening. They are being disruptive. But we are lucky. We have no disruptive students in our classes, right, Joanna?
Yeah, no disruptive students. Would you use disruptive as maybe difficult to handle?
Oh, yeah, difficult to manage. Absolutely, I would. So we've got some new questions on the slide. Do you want to read them, Joanna?
Yes. So number 1, where is your hometown? Number 2, how has your hometown changed over the years? Has it changed for the better or worse? Or 3, what is the best thing about your hometown and the worst thing?
Very
Ah,
nice.
guys, we'd
So
love to hear.
yeah, we've got lots of questions. Use the chat, the comment section, and tell us about how your hometown has changed. Tell us about the best thing about it, the worst thing about it. And attention with this question, we have how has your hometown changed? If we remember our formula for present perfect, you will respond in present perfect to this question. Well,
So, Sophia, what about your hometown? How has your hometown changed over the years?
how has it changed? Well, in
If there
London,
has been any change.
there have been some changes. There have been a lot of new buildings
Mhm,
built in London, a lot of new skyscrapers, a lot of new modern buildings have been built.
mhm.
Um, I I don't think it's become more touristy. I think London was always very touristy.
Yeah,
And always very populated, a lot of people. So I don't think it's become more. It's so big that you just don't notice it growing anymore. So
haven't
I
been
don't think
to
it's
say.
bigger.
I don't know. I was supposed to go to London actually this week.
No way, really?
Yeah, supposed to go,
Oh,
but then so
that's
I'm
such a
waiting.
shame.
I know I'm waiting for everything to go back to normal, and then I will definitely visit and give you my
Yeah.
opinion.
Let's see some answers. Sole says, the best thing about my hometown is the sea. The worst, let's make this superlative. Sole, the worst is the calm and the hot weather. You don't like the hot weather? We can change. I can go to Calabria and enjoy the hot weather instead. I
And you
mean,
can go to London and enjoy the very strange weather.
exactly. We can change. I would happily go to Calabria and enjoy the hot weather.
Because you can
Um,
tan, that's why. So,
but
Sola,
it's not for that. It's just I hate the cold. I really don't like it.
really, but you have such nice sweaters.
That's why I have a nice sweaters because I hate the cold.
But imagine if there was if you had to move to a hot place, then you would never be able to use the sweaters.
No, that's true. That's true. What
So
about your home?
Sola does correct herself, and she made it a superlative. To
Nice, good
yeah.
job, Sole. How has your hometown changed, Joanna, over the years?
I kid you not, but it hasn't. So I went back in
Really?
Jan. Yeah, I went back in Jan for the first time in a year and a half. And
Wow.
the time before that, I went back for the first time in 2 years.
Whoa.
And
You were in Germany before.
yeah, I lived in Germany, and then I moved here. Nothing has changed. In all honesty, I
Wow.
think maybe the only thing has changed that they've painted some places, like maybe some buildings and some schools have been painted. Oh, I
But they
lied.
haven't.
They have introduced or they've built like for the Metropolitan Police, so they've built a headquarters there, and that's about
Oh,
it.
okay, a police station. Nice. Solis says, no, I like the snow. I want to live in an igloo. That's fantastic.
Remember
No.
when we talk about the igloo, because it's a noun that starts with a vowel, use the article an.
Yeah, an
And
igloo. That's really funny, actually. That's nice, Solis. What's the best thing about your hometown, Joanna? I know what the worst thing is. You told us at the beginning. The worst thing is the gossip.
yes,
Yes.
the worst thing definitely. But I think the best thing is the fact that what you mentioned earlier. We're like a close knit community. There's a
Mm,
some sort of or sense of unity, and we really do help each other.
that's really nice. That's
What
really
about you?
important.
Yeah, definitely. What about your hometown?
I'll talk about London, like the capital, rather than my suburb.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing about London, I think, is the architecture, the buildings, the monuments. There is so much to do and so much to see. It's full of theatres and cinemas and shows. Um, you cannot be bored in London.
Oh my
The
word.
worst thing is definitely the weather.
What is the weather
No.
like? So is it true when people say that London has bad weather all the time?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it doesn't rain that often, but the weather is I mean, it does rain often, but it doesn't rain all the time. But the weather is very changeable. And I think more than the rain, the problem is the wind. It's very, very windy and cloudy in London, but the weather changes a lot.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I always I think maybe it's more of a stereotype that a lot of people say that the UK in general um, has very, very bad weather.
I mean, it's not good. Let's just say that. So tell us in the comments, what is the best and worst thing about your hometown? How has your hometown changed? We're very curious to hear about your hometowns. Um,
Sonia says,
oh,
London looks so creepy.
so creepy. Why?
I like that adjective. Sole, considering that you've just said creepy, also explain to us why, while you're explaining to Sophia why, tell us what does creepy mean?
I have to say what creepy means.
No, Sole needs to explain to us. She introduced it.
Sola has to explain why London is creepy because I don't So like weird or strange? What I don't understand why London is creepy.
When I think of creepy, I don't think of something necessarily weird or strange. I think of something like dark, like
Yeah, exactly. But
irregular.
strange but in a dark way, like a
Hmm.
creepy person, maybe suspicious as well could
Yeah,
be
yeah.
creepy. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sola says it looks attention of your S, Sola. Can we bring up Sola's answer? It looks so dark by the weather. Yeah, okay. It's creepy in the sense of it's dark, absolutely. But
She's
you
like,
love
I
that
love
weather.
that weather.
I think we should swap hometown, Sole. You go to London, I'll go to Calabria. We'll be fine. We'll be in our natural habitats.
Exactly. You would never have to worry about anything.
Shall we go on to our next part?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just gave the answer. That was a
No!
slip of my
Oh,
finger.
well, it doesn't matter. So we have some different vocabulary and some definitions. Let's read them first. Do you want to start, Joanna?
That was a slip of the finger, really, I promise you.
No.
The boondocks. In the
Yeah.
stick, downtown,
So this is
suburb,
I accept. Great. Perfect.
outskirts, street smart or wise.
Nice. And then we have residential areas outside the city, very rural in the country, the edge of the city, able to deal with the problems of urban life, and the city center. So, Joanna has already luckily given you the first answer. So, in the sticks is a place that is very rural or in the country.
Also, what
Um,
you guys should notice that this is slang. So
yes,
yeah, this is UK slang. I don't think they would say that in America. In
no,
America,
I don't think so either.
in America,
But
you say in the ghetto.
it would be the opposite though than in the sticks, because in the sticks is in the
When it says
countryside.
rural, it's in the country. Oh
Yeah.
no, yeah, I don't know what they would say.
So in this, we think about sticks as in wood, trees, forest. So this is the why we say it's in the sticks for in the countryside. So in the comments, let's match up the words on the left and the definitions on the right. Okay. So we already have number one, in the sticks is a very rural place. What's the opposite of rural, Joanna?
Urban.
Nice. So these are two words that are quite similar also in Italian. We have rural for what is outside of the city and urban for what is in the city. So downtown, this is so American.
But there is also, where does Downtown Abbey come from?
It's not downtown, it's downton. So it's just the name of the house.
It's called Downton?
Yeah, it's not downtown.
Oh, okay, never mind. Forget I even asked the question.
Solly's got the answer. She says downtown, the city center. Wonderful. Can
Yes.
we bring up Solly's answer?
Funny enough, I had a student once tell me that downtown is where the poor people live, which
Oh,
is not the truth. If you generally live in the city, you have cash, you have some money.
more money. But
Yeah,
yeah, what do you say, Joanna? Do you say downtown or the city center?
downtown.
Oh, you say downtown.
It depends, like not everyone. I would say in the city without center, and then other people would be like, let's meet downtown.
Okay, cool. No, because we would just say the city center in British English. So downtown, the city center, and Andrea has the next answer as well. Suburbs, he says residential areas outside the city. I think I agree. Let's see.
Yes. It's like the neighborhoods, the surrounding neighborhoods.
Exactly. So for example, I say I come from London, but really I grew up in the suburbs of London. No, it's correct, Andrea. Suburb residential areas.
I think then it would be the same for me as well. I live in the surrounding neighborhood outside of the city.
Exactly. So the next part we have, the next word we have is outskirts. Again, we have the word out. No, it's correct, Andrea, I think. Outskirts, what do we think is the meaning of the outskirts? Using the word out here.
Yes. So we have, I'm going to put it in the comment section for them as well.
So again, with the outskirts, we're not talking about the center of the city. We're talking about, it's not the center, but the part around the city, okay? The outside of the city. So for outskirts, nice try, Sole, but it's the other one, the edge of the city. Nice job, Andrea.
So for example, Sole, Bologna is the center, and maybe for example, San Donato and Bolognina would be the
Outskirts.
outskirts.
Yeah, maybe even further out. Maybe you'd go to what's that neighborhood called? It begins with P.
Canora.
No, I was thinking of a different one. Oh, it will come to me. It's where the bus number 20 finishes.
Then I don't know.
And that means that the final one, we've got street smart or street wise. So somebody who is able to deal with the problems of urban life. Okay. It's quite a difficult word to explain, but it's just somebody who has lived in the city for a long time, knows the place, knows the people, knows how to behave and how to act in the city that would make you street smart or streetwise?
We in South Africa, I don't think we'd use it oppositely. We wouldn't use it. So I agree with you in terms of we know the city, we know how to act. In South
Yeah.
Africa, we'd have more of a negative connotation. If you're street smart, it means that you've had more of a hard life. Where
Okay,
maybe you, yeah,
you've grown up on the street kind of thing.
yeah, and you
Yeah,
sort of fend for yourself.
yeah, it does have that sense as well that you've grown up on the street, that you've had to live by yourself and you've become quite tough, maybe quite hard with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, absolutely. It has that meaning. Okay, let's look at some more questions. We've got, we've got the same question again. How would you describe your hometown?
So we're not going to focus on that one.
No,
Let's
I think
go
we
to number 2.
What are
Uh,
the advantages to living in the sticks or in the suburbs? That's quite interesting. Tell us in the comments, what do you think are some advantages to living in the sticks, so in the countryside? And what are some advantages to living in the suburbs, in the residential areas outside a city? What are some well, you live in the
I do.
sticks, Joanna.
I've lived in the sticks my whole life.
Yeah, so what are some advantages to living in the sticks?
It's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's quiet, it's relaxing. You know, if you've had a really hard day at work, you can come back without hearing a car horn
Traffic,
or, yeah,
people.
people speaking outside of your window. Um, the nature is definitely an advantage.
I
A
would
big,
say so, yeah. Solly has a question. Street smart is a person, isn't it? Yes, it's to describe a person. It's an adjective though. So we would say he is street smart, not he is a street smart. Okay,
Mhm.
use it as an adjective. Yeah, I imagine also an advantage to living in the sticks is that you have a lot of space. People generally have big houses, big gardens, lots of space for their car, their animals,
Mm.
etc. Like it's a lot bigger in
Not me
the,
in this case, I live in an apartment, but in South Africa, yes, a lot of
yeah.
space, a lot of garden to run around in.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's something that we definitely miss when we live in the city. What are some advantages to living in the suburbs?
Hmm.
Well, I imagine that the suburbs are quite safe because, in general, in the suburbs, it's families. Usually, families live in the suburbs. So it's quite a safe area for children. It's quite a quiet area for people to live in.
But it's also further away from the city, but close. It's like contradicting. Further away from the city to have a nice family life, but close enough to get to work.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the suburbs are practical. That's
Yeah.
the idea that they need to be practical. Also, maybe it's a bit too quiet because all the cinemas, the theaters, the pubs, the bars, they're all in the city center. But I think sometimes in the residential areas, in the suburbs, it's a bit boring because maybe there is not much to do.
I'm picturing a movie scene. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So in general, guys, what are the outskirts of your hometown like? Describe it in the comment section. Um, the outskirts, because of course you all come from different places and we don't know all of them. So describe those. How, yeah, just in
What
general.
are the outskirts of your city like? And finally, can you be streetwise if you don't live in the city? That's
Yes,
an interesting question. You said yes.
I said yes.
Okay, can you explain why?
Oh, just because you live in the city, I'm talking about it in terms of what I said earlier on, a tough life. Just because you don't live in the city doesn't mean if you live in the suburbs or in the sticks that you might not have had a tough life where you needed to learn something.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you say, I don't know, I've only lived in the city, so I don't, but I imagine, yes, you have to know how to act, how to behave, how to talk.
Hmm.
So maybe you can
Every
also be
place is different, and I
streetwise,
think every country is different too.
possibly. All
Yeah.
right. Shall we maybe look at one last question before we finish?
What would the last question be?
Let's go on to the next slide, and maybe we can just look at question 4. If you could change one thing about your hometown, what would it be? We can practice that one.
Conditional. Yeah.
Though we have very little time left,
Yes.
unfortunately.
So
I don't know
what would you change about your hometown?
I think I would make London, I would change the weather. I would make London sunnier and warmer. What would you change about your hometown, Joanna?
I don't really know. I would make Cape Town. I would make the people of Cape Town be a little bit more understanding.
Oh, that's really nice. And Sole has one last answer. I'm not streetwise living in the city. I couldn't imagine if I didn't live in the city. That's good, Sole. It's a nice answer. Make it second conditional. I couldn't imagine if I didn't past live in the city.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're afraid that's all we have time for. Thank you very, very much for joining us.
And have a wonderful Friday, guys. See you soon. Remember that in 10 minutes, there is another one on this level just for you. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye-bye.